The Galactic Council had seen empires rise and fall across 1,000 star systems. They had witnessed the glass worlds of Xerion turn to ash under the Void Hunter's assault. They had watched the crystalline spires of the Zenari homeworld crack and crumble as the machine collective swept through their space. Fear was an old companion to the galaxy's elder races, but they had never encountered anything quite like the humans. Ambassador Kethvar of the Altarian hegemony stood before the massive holographic display in the council chambers, his forearms gesticulating frantically as he addressed the assembled representatives. The display showed a single ship, sleek, angular, and impossibly small compared to the dreadnoughts that typically dominated space battles. Esteemed colleagues, Kethavar's voice carried the tremor that had plagued him since the reports first arrived. The human vessel Defiance has single-handedly crippled 3 of our finest battle fleets. 3 fleets, nearly 4,000 ships, reduced to scrap metal floating in the void. A low murmur rippled through the chamber. The Zephyrian delegate, her translucent form shimmering with anxiety, spoke first. This cannot be accurate. No single vessel possesses such capability. Our fleet commanders must have encountered a cloaked armada. The sensor logs are irrefutable, Kethvar replied, manipulating the display to show the aftermath of the battles. Debris fields stretched for thousands of kilometers, twisted metal and frozen atmosphere creating temporary nebulae of destruction. In each engagement, only one human ship was detected. The same ship. High Counselor Thren of the Draconic Reaches, ancient beyond measure, leaned forward in his crystalline throne. What do we know of this vessel's capabilities? Kethvar's primary hands trembled as he accessed the tactical reports. The ship appears to phase in and out of normal space-time. It strikes with weapons that ignore our shielding entirely, as if our barriers simply don't exist. When our forces attempt to target it, their weapons pass through empty space, yet the ship remains visible to sensors. Impossible, hissed Commander Vex of the Serpentine Armada. No technology can achieve such. The chamber's emergency alarms suddenly blazed to life. A junior aide rushed to Thren's side, whispering urgently. The ancient dragon's eyes widened, the first display of surprise many had ever witnessed from him. The human ship, Thren announced, his voice cutting through the chaos, has just entered our system. It's heading directly for the council station. Panic erupted among the delegates. The Altarians began rapid evacuation protocols while the Zephyrians started phase-shifting their molecular structures. The Draconic Reaches representatives roared challenges that no one would answer. Activate all defensive systems, Kethvar commanded. Deploy the station's Guardian fleet immediately. The main display shifted to show the approaching vessel. Against the backdrop of the gas giant that housed their station, the human ship looked like a mere speck. Yet every being in that chamber felt its presence like a predator's gaze in the darkness. Captain Sarah Chen sat calmly in the command chair of the Defiance, watching the alien fleet scramble to intercept her ship. Around her, the bridge hummed with quiet efficiency. No alarms, no shouting orders, just the steady rhythm of a crew that had performed this dance dozens of times before. "Ma'am," reported Lieutenant Torres from the tactical station. 67 enemy vessels moving to intercept. Standard configuration. Heavy cruisers with escort frigates. "Any new weapon signatures, Torres?" "Negative, Captain. Same plasma, cannons and particle beams we've seen before." Chen nodded. "Helm, take us through them. Standard intimidation run." "Aye, Captain." The Defiance accelerated toward the enemy formation, and at the last possible moment, activated its quantum displacement drive. To outside observers, the ship seemed to become ghostly, translucent. The alien weapons fired, their energy beams, passing harmlessly through the vessel as if it existed in another dimension entirely. But the Defiance's weapons had no such limitation. Chen had been among the first to understand the implications when humanity's greatest scientific breakthrough hadn't been faster than light travel or energy shields. It had been the discovery that space-time itself could be folded, allowing objects to exist in multiple dimensional phases simultaneously. The technology was complex, requiring quantum computers linked directly to human neural networks, something no other known species could achieve. While existing partially outside normal spacetime, the Defiance could fire weapons that materialized inside enemy ships, bypassing all external defenses. To their opponents, it appeared as if their vessels simply exploded from within, struck by some incomprehensible force. The alien fleet's formation dissolved as ship after ship erupted in silent flames. Within minutes, only debris remained of what had been the Council's most formidable defensive force. Chen opened a communication channel to the station. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth vessel Defiance. I'm here to deliver humanity's response to your ultimatum." In the council chambers, Thren's ancient voice cracked as he replied, We are prepared to listen, Captain. 3 months ago, your council declared humanity a dangerous anomaly that needed to be contained or eliminated. You sent fleets to blockade our worlds, believing we would surrender out of fear. Chen's voice remained steady, professional. You were wrong about what frightens us. The display zoomed in on the human ship, revealing details that made several delegates recoil. The hull bore scars from 100 battles, yet it moved with predatory grace through the debris field. We've spent our entire evolutionary history as prey animals who became apex predators. We learned to hunt creatures larger and stronger than ourselves, using only our minds and our tools. We learned that the biggest threat in any environment isn't the one that roars the loudest, it's the one that thinks the fastest. Through the bridge's viewports, Chen could see the massive council station, its bioluminescent corridors pulsing with the panic of its inhabitants. Your species developed space travel to escape planetary dangers. Humanity developed it to hunt among the stars. She paused, letting the words sink in across the channel. We didn't send a fleet to demonstrate our power. We sent one ship to demonstrate our restraint. The next time you threaten human worlds, we'll send 1,000 ships just like this one. The communication ended, leaving the council chamber in absolute silence. The Defiance turned away from the station and vanished into quantum displacement, leaving behind only the floating wreckage of the Guardian fleet and a new understanding of humanity's place in the galaxy. High Counselor Thren, who had ruled for over 3 millennia, found his voice after long minutes, motioned to rescind all hostile actions against human space. All in favor? Every hand, claw, tentacle, and appendage in the chamber rose in unanimous agreement. The galaxy had indeed thought. It knew fear. But humanity had just taught them the difference between being afraid of monsters and being afraid of the dark, because now they knew that somewhere in that darkness, patient and invisible, the real predators were watching them.